Every former, grandpas and grandmas and great grandmothers always think that it's the worst time. Everyone's lived through the worst time. The only argument that we're in the worst time now is because of social media and the cancel culture.
Yeah.
They've never had to deal with that. You're talking about a different animal.
Yeah.
And that the narrative of that cancel culture, which I think a lot of it is white people, or it doesn't matter race, but I think a lot of it they amplify everything because now we got this. You got to worry about,
and they can take away your livelihood because corporations listen. The problem is that corporations are gutless, and sometimes they just rather cancel you and just fire you.
Well, they don't want to deal with it.
But there is recourse.
Gutless in a way. Yes.
There's recourse.
It sucks when someone gets fired for something that isn't even actionable just because it looks bad for a corporation. But at the same time, again, let's try and put ourselves in their shoes. If you support some corporation that fires someone or does something for the sake of guarding their reputation,
like CBS and Canon,
and you name it. Yeah. If my job is I'm a senior vice president of programming at CBS, and I know that I've worked for 30 fucking years doing everything I can to get up to the ladder, and now I put food on the table for my kids by doing this job.
Yes.
And I know that the behaviors of one of the people, or the behavior of one of the people or a couple of the people that I employ could very easily cost everything. My whole company can go under. Is that gutless, or is that just capitalism?
Right, but let me play devil's advocate here. Let's say you are the person who makes decisions at CBS. And Nick Cannon has worked for CBS Viacom for the last 20 years, if you include Nickelodeon. 20 years.
And a grinder, by the way. Yeah.
Brilliant man. Yeah. Brilliant man. He's made zero mistakes in 20. You know this guy. He's a creator. He created Wild 'N Out. He's made your company a ton of money. He hosts, Masked Singer on Fox. The guy's done a million things. America Got Talent. He hosts all these shows, right?
While all doing a morning radio show in LA.
5 days a week. Yeah. He hosts the biggest morning radio show in LA. So he does all this stuff. He makes one mistake. I don't agree with any of it. He fucked up. Boy, did he fuck up.
It was a wildly stupid comment. Eugenics, essentially.
You're smarter than this, Nick. You're smarter.
What he said.
He went after Jews and white people. All right. But you know that guy for 20 years. He's come up with all this content. He made one mistake, and you're the owner of CBS. You're the guy who runs shit. You're telling me you've never made mistakes before?
Oh, I agree.
So he should be crucified off the horrible mistake. Right. I don't agree with any of it. Now, if he came out and made an apology, was like, I realized what I did wrong. I'm going to study my history books. I'm going to go back and learn how the Jews were prosecuted and what they've done to persecute and come over here and the success that they've had. I've learned from my mistakes. 20 years of work. And because the one mistake, now he should be fucking voted off the island.
You're right. And
one mistake.
What did he do specifically?
Bring up his exact quote, Nick, because you keep asking.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, it's bad. I don't agree with any.
He really, Brian, he was like flirting with eugenics, like the idea that
white people are
biologically
savages.
You are less than these people.
He's saying white people are less than black people.
So he was fired, okay.
From Viacom, but Fox actually, he came out with apologies. Let me find the actual clip.
I can sum it up. I mean, I've gone over this a couple times. He essentially said that the lack of melanin in the people who migrated north to go to like the Norse mountains and things like that, and then subsequently got more white. They are biologically inferior to the people who are better prepared to deal with the sun and the earth and living a vibrant life. Therefore, they are the real savages, and that yet they portray us as the savages.
Whites are less than black.
Not great.
Of the pigment of our skin, and we're the savages, and white people are evil, and the African Americans actually they're the original Jews.
That's where I think he stepped in shit. Is that the melanin stuff not true? But then he says we're the real Hebrews, and that then you're starting to get.
But here's the other thing. He did this podcast a year ago.
Let me see.
Wait, let me find it first. These are his apologies. He did the podcast a year ago. You know that, Mike?
Well, that was a year ago. Wow.
He banks his podcast. He did him a year ago, so it came out now. I think maybe he was like reading the history books and all that, and he got too deep into it. You know what I'm saying? Like on one subject. But he royally fucked up. I'm not saying he didn't. I don't agree with anything he said.
He's a Jew of color.
Well, he said blacks are actually the real Jews.
Do you know what that theory is? It's a theory, evolutionary biology theory.
Well, he read it out of a book.
So the idea is as our ancestors migrated from close to the equator in Africa to northern climates, there was less sunlight.
It's all about his
so
apologies.
you needed to lose the melanin in your skin so you
But
could
you're in
absorb
videos,
more
Jim.
sunlight
It's
to
right,
create
get more vitamin
I
D.
just went to videos.
I do feel for. Do you guys know Nick at all?
They
Have
had
you ever
to
met
be
him?
savages.
Met him
Those
very
were, he
briefly,
said here,
but I'm
here
a
it
big
is.
fan.
There was there. Go back.
Look, he
that was his
says
apology.
he does say a lot
That's
of kind of kooky shit. but-
Canon segues and discussion of skin color. And I'm going to say this carefully, he begins. To allege that people who lack sufficient melanin are a little less. Those without dark skin have a deficiency that historically forced them to act out of fear and commit acts of violence to survive. They had to be savages. Jewish people, white people, Europeans, among others. People on social media, okay. I mean, he should probably brush up a little bit more and talk to people like Brett Weinstein about evolutionary biology.
All of it. He went down such a slippery slope, and he's been in show business so long. I'm like, Nick, you're better than this. Again, I don't fuck with anything he's talking about. He's royally fucked up. But the body of work over 20 years for CBS, Viacom, MTV, and he issues an apology, which his issue is he didn't want to apologize at first, but then he did apologize, which ended up fucking him because then the black people are upset at him now.
Yeah.
So you have the Jews and the whites upset, then you apologize, and the black people are upset. You can stick by it, so you can't win. My only thing is if you're running a company, you're telling me you've never made any mistakes?
No, it's true. It's hypocritical.
The problem, though, Brennan, is that it's that old joke. It's like you can build a Sistine Chapel and come up with a cure for cancer, but if you fuck one goat,
You're a goat fucker.
you're a goat fucker, dude. I mean, at the end of the day, if you fuck a goat, I thank you for curing cancer and thank you for fucking sending a rocket to the moon.
Because it's not like Nick molested kids
No.
or murdered somebody or raped somebody. Like those, you should never work again. But saying a comment with no data, obviously he's uneducated about what's going on over his body of work, and if he could apologize on that, come on, man.
Well, and also, look, I actually kind of feel bad for the guy because I'm with you. I think what he said was downright insulting, especially if I was a Jew, I'd be like
clumsy.
blown away.
It was clumsy.
But
even if I was a white person, it pissed me off.
imagine you're Nick Cannon, all right? Like let's look at his career. Guy works his ass off. He does everything he can to build his career. All along the way, every fucking step, the black community's been like, that guy's fucking corny. Fuck Nick Cannon. He sucks. He's not. Okay. So you're like, dude, I got to do whatever I can to like up my, because I do legitimately think he cares about the black community. I don't think he's one of these guys that's fronting it.
No,
I think
hears
he's
it.
deeply concerned with like the welfare of the black community. So the whole time he's like, everyone thinks I'm a fucking a cornball. I'm going to do everything I can to like ingratiate myself and prove that I'm not a fucking cornball. I'm just a guy who works hard and likes to speak my mind. So then you go and you get this. Then corporate America is like, well, you're fucked. Are you not gonna apologize? Well, then you do, and you're fucking yourself. Financially, maybe you're looking out for yourself financially. But now the same black community who's been picking on you this whole time is like, you fucking sell out.
Yeah, I know.
Like, what a guy can't win.
You can't win.
It doesn't help that he was sitting there talking to Professor Griff. Is that dude's name?
Yeah.
The guy who got kicked out of Public Enemy for being too radical. Like, that guy's a fucking asshole. I mean, he's like Richard Spencer, but black.
You
He's
can't-
just bad.
yeah, you
He does
can't-
not.
It was a perfect
You
storm.
can change it by not being, by not saying, taking groups and saying things about those groups like they're savages or animals. That's not going to work right now.
Yeah.
Watch your tone.
Okay. What's going to happen? What are you going to do? Use some of that boxing you've been doing?
Don't you fucking disrespect.